Sunday marks 3 years since the 2016 floods destroyed 2 Kanawha County schools. Ground is yet to be broken on Clendenin Elementary or Herbert Hoover High School, and frustrations among those who live along the Elk River continue to grow as projected opening dates for those schools have now been pushed back several times. Tonight, we continue our series looking at where West Virginians stand now, 3 years after the flood. Eyewitness News reporter Leslie Rubin speaks with students who will never truly go to a high school they can call their own about how their lives have changed since that day.
The Herbert Hoover High School class of 2019 walks across the stage to new beginnings. They were the last class to know what it was like to go to Hoover before the flood changed everything. We all know what happened. The 2016 flood that killed 23 washed away countless homes and businesses and forever changed life along the Elk River. Forever changed what it meant to be a Husky.
I think the community is closer than it was before the flood, but I think people are frustrated with how the process is going of getting the school built and getting things back to where they were.
Lauren Dysart will be a junior this year. She was in 8th grade when the 1,000-year flood took away so much from her town. 3 years later, she's grown into her new way of life.
The portables aren't affecting my high school experience at all. That's just what my normal is. If I would be going to a real high school, that would be my normal, but the portables are my normal.
Grant Bonner isn't complaining either, even though his high school hallways are made of wood and exposed to the elements.
7 classes a day.
He'll be a senior, once promised a new school by 2020.
We were told that we would be like the first graduating class of the new school, and now that coming up my senior year, nothing's going on, so it's kind of hard right now.
But when you ask who, if anyone, is to blame, you'll get a lot of different answers.
I think there's probably shared responsibility for the logjam. I think that FEMA was talking in bureaucracy terms that and not being clear on what their real needs are before they can move forward. But at the same time, there's been such confusion with the flood funding at the governor's level and at the state level that's played into it as well.
This is all orchestrated out of the governor's office as far as recovery. That's where it happens.
So are you blaming Jim Justice?
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just blaming. There has to be a rapid response of how we take care of people in the most vulnerable situations.
Occasionally they'll blame the board and said they're not doing what they're supposed to, or they're holding up the project, but that's not true. It's actually following the guidelines and procedures and approvals.
They all have dropped the ball.
Laura Mullins is a frustrated parent fighting for answers.
You're affecting the morale of the kids and the hopefulness that they're ever going to get anything.
The setbacks aren't a secret. The land to build the new Hoover still hasn't been bought. But Dr. Ron During says when dealing with federal money, you're met with a lot of challenges.
If you don't meet those guidelines, if you don't cross your T's and dot your I's, in the end there could be payback. And that's not fair to the future of this district and the kids are in it, that 5 or 10 years from now they come back and say, you owe us $10, $15, $20 million because you didn't do things correctly.
Environmental assessments are still ongoing. Next up, there'll be a public hearing held by FEMA and a public comment period. When those hurdles are crossed, During says it's go time to buy the roughly 238 acres owned by a church in the Given Fork area off of Frame Road to build the new home of the Huskies.
It's going to have this nice grand entrance coming in.
If all goes according to plan, the new projected opening date is 2022. And even though these students won't be around to see it, they say they'll still be Elk River strong.
I would love to get a chance to see the new school, and I know I probably won't, and that's kind of sad, but I can't do anything about it.
We want to see a new school whether we're here or not. Just hopefully one day we'll see a brand new school up on the mountain.
In Clendenin, Leslie Rubin, Eyewitness News.
As we reported earlier this week, the Clendenin Elementary School project is actually moving a bit quicker than Hoover. The public comment period for that is still open right now and will be through July 6th. As soon as FEMA announces the same for Hoover, we'll let you know.